Alrighty, what's going on, everybody? I know I've not made a post in a bit. I am guilty of procrastination. I've completely basically just been not locked in. I've been so locked in on trading. I'm just making excuses. I've not even been that locked in on trading. I've been doing very good on the charts. I've had like 2 or 3 losing days in the past 2 months. I've had a 95% win rate, but I've not been locked in on content. I do apologize. But yeah, so we are back with the video. Today, I'm going to teach you guys how to rinse prop firms for all of their bread, all of their liquidity. And yeah, I'm going to basically just be giving you a full rundown on how to milk firms for all their bread and get to 10K per month and exceed that. So that's going to be a banger. All right, so quick announcements real quick before we do go ahead and get started with the video. I get a ton of DMs each day asking me about the one-on-one program that is shut down. I posted that a couple days ago, but the one-on-one program is shut down. I'm not doing another one until next year, most likely. Or if I do another one this year, it's going to be probably like December, okay? So yeah, please quit messaging me about it. It is closed. It will not be reopened. There's no exceptions. But yeah, anyways, let's go ahead and get into today's video. All right, just real quick, just want to show you some little proof here. An hour ago, I did take 2 payouts with my funded futures, and I took 1 payout with Tradeify. So this is just to kind of show you that, yes, I have credibility to be teaching you about this, blah, 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 blah. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get into the actual info here. Prop Firm 101. This is going to be a complete guide on how to pass your eval, not using the CPI or NFP method. I'm going to teach you the legit way. And then I'm going to teach you how to get to that point of actually being able to take a payout, and then how to scale to 10K per month and exceed that. So let's go ahead and get into it. So Prop Firm 101, we're going to be starting off basically going over evals. Which ones are the best ones to get? So I personally recommend My Funded Futures, the firm I just showed you the payouts with. So I personally recommend their scale accounts, okay? So look at the My Funded Futures scale accounts. Okay, so here are the different account sizes with My Funded Futures. We have the scale, the core, and the pro, and then the eval to live. I do not recommend the eval to live. Do not buy that. The pro account is very fire, but I'm not too big of a fan personally. It just doesn't really fit my trading style, but I have a lot of friends who make a lot of money with the pro account. The ones I'm going to be suggesting to you are the core and the scale. So when it comes to the core here, it's the cheapest option. Very simple rules here. There's no activation fees, very cheap accounts. But yeah, so it's nothing too crazy. On the evaluation, you have a 50% consistency rule. Off the evaluation, you have 0 consistency rule, which is something they changed very recently, which is OP. Absolutely amazing. But yeah, the reason I love this firm so much is extremely easy to rinse payouts. All of my students use My Funded Futures, especially when getting their first payout before expanding and scaling out to other firms. As you can see, you just need 5 winning days of $100 profits, and bang, all you have to do is request payout. So this is the core account. It's the cheapest one. I do recommend it, but there is one that is better. This is the scale account, specifically the scale 50K. I don't really care for the other ones. The scale 50K, basically you have a $2,000 max drawdown, you have 0 activation fee, your profit target is 3K, so this is pretty simple standard stuff for most firms. Your max position size is 3 contracts, you have a 10-to-1 micro scaling rule, meaning that each mini you use is equivalent to 10 micros standard. Now the changes with this, you have a 50% consistency rule on the evaluation, but you do not have one on the funded. Meaning after you pass that evaluation, you are not subject to trading under a consistency rule. Meaning one day you can hit $1,000, the next day you can just hit for the $100 days for the next 4 days, okay? That's the beauty of My Funded Futures and using the scale account. So the only thing here is that there is a micro scaling rule of 5-to-1, meaning your max you can use is 15, which is a little wonky, but it's okay. I usually use 1 to 2 minis, okay? So this is the same exact payout rules. It's 5 days of $100, and your minimum payout has to be $250, and you get to keep 100% of your first 10K. Bang! Super good rules here, very basic, and the easiest to get a payout with. That's why I recommend it to all of you guys. And just to show why this is so good, if we go and we pull up this right here, okay. You can see after 2 months of consistent effort and growth, we received my first payout. He is using My Funded Futures right here. Dre, he is using Top Step. But then we look right here, a one-on-one student, 30 days into the program. He's getting his payouts here with, right here, with My Funded Futures. Keith getting his with Top Step. Most people are just using Top Step and My Funded Futures. Right here, there's Ben. So yeah, everybody loves My Funded Futures. And if you want to get the best discount, use code GUS. And by you using this code, it allows me to get access to doing giveaways. So yeah, that's pretty fire, and I like giving away accounts to you guys. So use code GUS on any account size that will give you the best deal. Now let's actually go into how you are going to trade these accounts. All right, so we are going to be using the Scale account here. Now, here's what you're going to do. Essentially, you're going to start off trading this, and let me just move my webcam. You're going to start off using the Scale account, and you are going to be risking around $500 to $750 per trade. Okay, and you are going to be aiming for a 1-to-1, but ideally a 1-to-2 risk to reward. Meaning that if you risk 500, you're aiming to make 1,000. Or if you're doing 750, you're aiming to make 1,500, okay? So super, super solid. You want to be aiming for a 1-to-2, but if you do get a 1-to-1, that's still good. The ideal, scenario here is that you get 1,500 on the first day and 1,500 on the second, meaning you pass a funded account in just 2 days, which I've done plenty of times to do that with basically all of my accounts. And using this exact formula, I'm telling you everything that I do. I'm leaking the sauce here. No Diddy, but I'm giving you literally everything I use here. So let me just make my webcam slightly smaller. Okay, so I'm going to be risking 500 to 750 per trade, aiming for a 1-to-1, but ideally a 1-to-2. Okay, remember, your risk to reward does not need to be under 1-to-1. Okay, we can't be having a negative risk to reward in the big 2025. So use this and make sure you are using NQ contracts. Don't use MNQ, okay? Technically you can if you're trying to do like 12 micros. Just be normal. Do 1 NQ contract or 2 NQ contracts. I wouldn't recommend full porting because, like I said, we're trying to be consistent here. And there will be times when I am willing to take the risk of doing a full port to pass it quick so I can get to that payout stage quicker. But for the majority of you guys, 99% of you guys do not just want to be blowing money and risking it. So use this plan I'm giving you. Risk 500 to 750 per trade and aim for that 1-to-2. You're going to be making $1,500 the first day, and then the second day you're going to be ideally making $1,500 as well. Now, if you need a strategy for this, I got you. Alrighty, so for strategy here, what I like to do is I like to scout my key levels. I post these every single day inside of the Capital Academy. I can't leak everything here because this is like my holy grail strategy that I only share to the premium members, but I can let you guys in on a little bit of the sauce here. Ideally, what you're going to be using is you are going to be looking at order flow. Also things such as previous day high and previous day low. That's a good start. That's the most I'll give you here. Alright, so for this example right here, I used the order book. I read the order flow and all of the numbers. This is why I picked this level. I can't go into that on here on YouTube for free, but what I can say is this works the exact same for using things like previous day high, previous day low, session highs, and session lows. So let's just say for this example here, this is previous day high. And just FYI, I post all of these levels inside of the Discord every single day. So right here, let's just say this is previous day high. You're ideally going to be, in this case, shorting when the market reaches up to this level with a 50 tick stop loss. Okay, so right here, we're going to map this out to 50 ticks. As you can see right here, you're going to be doing a 50 tick stop loss. And ideally, what I do on my fundeds is I like to aim for a 1-to-1. So very simple. You're probably thinking, Gus, how do you make so much money if you're only aiming for like 12 points? That is a beauty of copy trading. You get multiple accounts doing it. Sometimes you size up on different accounts doing multipliers on your copy trader. That's how I do it. But for eval purposes, what you're going to do is you're going to be taking these levels with a 50 tick stop loss. You're going to be risking 500 to 750. Now, a 50 tick stop loss is around $250. What you're going to do is you're going to take 2 to 3 minis on these levels, targeting your profit target. So you're going to be going for like a 1-to-2. So you're going to be aiming for a little something like that, okay? That's all you have to do. Extremely simple. And like I said, I share all of these levels every single day inside of the Capital Academy. This is not me just trying to be some gatekeeper for no reason, but it's one of those things when you finally figure something out special, you don't just want to give it out to everyone for free because you put a lot of time and effort into finding these levels. And another thing is the more people that use this strategy, the more likely it is that it could possibly get patched by market makers and algorithms. So it's not me just being greedy for no reason. It's just one of those things that I know it works so well. And as you can see, like it literally has gotten people insane results literally every single day. So it's not me just hyping up my own thing. It's making people tons of money. That's why I just cannot give it out for free on YouTube. But like I was saying earlier, you can use this for previous day high, previous day low, previous week high, previous week low. Write those down real quick. So you can use these for those key levels that have a lot of liquidity. Okay, these right here are just kind of hidden levels of liquidity that you aren't able to see with just, your bare eye. You have to actually read the order books. So that is a strategy I recommend. Very simple. It happens every day, and you can just about always catch some sort of trade with it. Like I said, I've had a 95% win rate for the past month and a half, 2 months. All right, so now ideally you have passed your funded account. You have used this strategy I have given you for completely free, and you have risked 500 to 750, targeting a 1 to 2. You've gotten 1500 both days because the strategy is high quality. It has a 95% win rate. Now, it's time to discuss how you're actually going to trade the funded, okay? This is going to be a little bit different from the eval. Instead of risking 500 to 750, it's going to be a little bit different, but way more consistent. So let's go ahead and talk about how to do this. Alrighty, so now let's talk about risk parameters on the actual funded account, not the eval. What you are going to be doing is you are going to take that exact strategy I just gave you. This time, you are going to be taking a 1-to-1 with a 50 tick stop loss, a 50 tick take profit, okay? So 50-50, and you are going to be taking trades based off of those levels I just gave you. Like I said, you're going to have more opportunity if you join the Capital Academy because I post even more levels every single day. There's usually around 15 to 20 levels that work very well. You can do this. You could literally take these trades and maybe do 5 to 6 trades a day. I literally had a day where I took 11 trades and I won all of them, okay? That just goes to show this is extremely OP, but you don't need 11 trades. In fact, I don't really take like a high amount of trades each day. This is the exact strategy I'm using now. I'll go 50-50, meaning 50 ticks, 50 tick take profit, 50 tick stop loss. And what I'm doing is I'm using one NQ contract on a couple of my accounts. So let's just say for this funded account, you're going to be copy trading 5 fundeds, okay? So you can get 5 My Funded Futures scale funded accounts. As long as they're 50Ks, you can get 5 accounts that you can copy trade together. So say you use one NQ contract, you're taking 50 ticks, you are going to be making $250 per trade. Okay, now times that by 5, and you are absolutely cooking, making $12.50 every single day. So now you're going to be making $12.50 a day, and all you have to do is take a 1-to-1. And the beauty of this is that when you have these key levels of liquidity, if there is genuine liquidity there, if you read the order book and you know and you can actually see the orders, you know that the market will at least have some sort of pullback in your favor. And that's why we're using 50 ticks, because that is the best tested. I've back tested this for hours. This is the best amount of points that is very consistent. That gives around a 90 to 95% win rate, okay? So if you use one NQ contract, you'll be making $250 a day across 5 accounts, which is $12.50 a day, okay? Super simple, high win rate. And what I do is if I lose a trade, most of the time, I'm not trying to take another trade that day. I'm just going to call it a day and log off, okay? And this is why I have such a high win rate, because I'm not trying to force anything. I'm not trying to make back any sort of loss. I'll take my trade. If it doesn't hit, it doesn't hit. On to the next day. Or sometimes I'll switch on to a different firm and I will trade based off of another key level. And if that hits, cool. But I'm not trying to overtrade. I'm not taking a bajillion trades. I'm just taking one trade, aiming for a 1-to-1. It's really that simple. Sometimes I will go and I'll hit these, crazy bottom and top ticks on different firms. But for my funded futures, this is my exact strategy. I'm really just going for these small 50 tick trades. Some people are just going to be like, oh, that's not a lot of money, but that's literally like 20K in payouts. Think about this. If we have $12.50 times that by 5, and you take, let's just say you take 3 payouts a month. Let's say you're not going to get it every week because you most likely won't. You're making $18,750 just on My Funded Futures. Now think of the possibility if you trade 20 funded accounts. Okay, I use Tradeify, Take Profit Trader, My Funded Futures, TopStep, Alpha Futures. I'm using 5 different firms. I'm just showing you one strategy for one firm. Think of how OP that is. It's literally overpowered. And that's why I'm telling you this. I'm able to give you guys some of the sauce here. Like I said, there's a lot more inside of the Capital Academy, but this is all you really need for a good foundation. So copy this risk management plan, use the strategy I gave you. You're going to be set. It's really, people try to overcomplicate it. This is really all you need. And like I said, don't take my word for it. Look at all the success inside of the Discord. People are cooking using this exact strategy. People are getting their first payouts just like that within like a week. It's insane. People are literally saying like, this is magic. And listen, I'm not trying to be like some like sketchy salesman here, but I'm just being genuine with you. This is extremely simple, and I've enjoyed taking this strategy and taking trades based off of this more than my AEM, just because of how little, it barely takes any time. When you have a super volatile market and you have levels with a lot of liquidity in a 95% win rate strategy, I literally get done with my day in less than 10 minutes the majority of the time. Today, I was done with my day in 3 minutes. The other day, I was done with my day in 15 seconds. It just goes to show you that it's super simple. Anybody can do this. So now, if you're copy trading with 500 accounts, you're basically making slightly under $20,000 each month. And that's just using my funded futures. Another firm I'd recommend that you can do basically the exact same thing with is Alpha Futures. They have a max of 3 accounts. Use code GUS for the best discount with them. Like I said, I partner with the firms that are my absolute favorite. I don't partner with sketchy firms. All of these I've gotten payouts with and I trust. So yeah, this is what you're going to be doing. And every time you get a payout, you're going to reinvest into new accounts. Another thing is you're going to take that and you're going to max allocate. When I say max allocate, it usually doesn't mean get 5 150Ks or 3 150Ks. I mean just max allocating the 50Ks. So with my funded futures, I'll get 5. And then with Alpha Futures, I'll get 3. With Tradeify, I'll get another 5. You're going to take your payouts and you're going to start branching out to other firms and using these strategies. And like I said, using this on my funded futures specifically and Alpha Futures, this will cook like insane. It's extremely easy to get a payout using this strategy. So yeah, that is how you're going to be rinsing prop firms, and that is how I make around 40K a month rinsing prop firms. And as of now, I'm looking to scale even harder and up my contract size and go 2 to 3 in Q contracts per trade, meaning I'm looking to size up like crazy and take this to hopefully 100K per month within the next couple months. So that is a complete guide on how to rinse firms, specifically my funded futures and Alpha Futures. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, join the free Discord in the bio, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.